Hello everybody, it is so nice to have you here. Welcome to the first official episode of the podcast. Today is October 22nd and we are going to be doing several questions. We have got many questions over the past week, which is great. You guys have been asking a lot of stuff or just sending in all kinds of stuff for me to talk about, and someone has even sent me a riddle to solve, so we're gonna get into that. And then next week we might have even more questions, so you guys can of course leave your questions in this video's comment section, or look on the left, continue sending the questions on that email address, whichever is more convenient for you. So let's get right into it. To start the show off, we have Eva the Duck having sent in the first question of the show, which is the question: would you fight a dragon-sized duck or a duck-sized dragon? That's a question. So let's think of it, right? If it's a duck that's dragon-sized, right? Then does that mean that it still has a duck brain? Like it's still just as like silly and not very intelligent as a duck, even though it's a dragon size? Or would it become more intelligent because the brain also got bigger? So assuming that it is just the physical size and the duck brain still has as many neurons as before, so it's not smarter by a bit, it's still basically just a huge duck, but they are not predatory, they are not evil, they don't eat meat. So we have that, and the other one you said was a duck-sized dragon, so like a very tiny dragon, but it still has all of a dragon's instincts. But is it a very tiny adult dragon, or is it just a baby dragon? Because a baby dragon will not want to fight, they just want to survive and eat and eat and eat and eat, while a adult-sized one might become more aggressive. But honestly, if it's a duck-sized dragon, they could still, I assume at least that they could still breathe fire. And even though it's a tiny flame, that flame can still burn you. So I'm gonna have to say a dragon-sized duck. We're gonna have like the government build like a huge wall around them so they can't get out of control. Maybe give them a huge pond or something. Make it like an attraction, like a tourist attraction, Depending on what city this actually takes place in. I assume my city, because I'm gonna be fighting them, right? Eventually, somehow. You could put it in my city's like town park, and it's gonna be like a huge tourist attraction, which means people are gonna be like, come over here and let's feed the huge duck. Like that duck is oversized. Like people from all over the world would flock to that huge dragon-sized duck. So not only would I win the fight by essentially just running around. Wait. By winning the fight, do I have to kill it, or do they just not have to die for like a few minutes? Because I could do the latter, but I don't want to kill it, because then it's wasted potential, right? So yeah, I'm gonna have to choose the dragon-sized duck, because that could be economically great for tourists in my town, and that could also become, it's harmless, it's just a spectacle. It's a huge duck, it probably won't hurt anyone, but we have to contain it, of course, in case it causes some damage to buildings and people and stuff. So yeah, that was a very fun question. Thank you so much, my friend Eva the Duck. Eva the Duck. So I assume you, my friend, are a big fan of ducks yourself. Good stuff. Yeah, final answer, dragon-sized duck. The second question of today is going to be by Saikoya, Mr. Saikoya. So the question is unit tier list, and why is Frog S tier? Okay, so of course he means the Wargroove unit tier list, the strategy game, the turn-based strategy game beloved by many, yours truly included. I love that game. Just for this question alone, I have taken the time to go to tiermaker.com and create a custom Wargroove unit tier list, something that was not available before to my surprise. So first I will list each unit one by one, starting from D tier and working our way towards S tier. So I'm gonna have to say D tier, which is the worst. Of course, we have to keep in mind that in Wargroove every unit has its use, right? It's very situational and depends. You can just say a unit is useless, period, except the villager. Villager is D tier. It's literally useless, except for body blocking. And I had to put the turtle here as well. So turtle also D tier. With Wargroove 2 because they get destroyed by everything, like Merfolk almost one hit them if they have a crit condition. So D tier is turtle and villager. C tier, which are very bad but often usable, would be, I actually put the air trooper here. Again, map dependent, so air trooper is either B or C. A rifleman is also C. It's very expensive for what it does. Situationally it can be very useful. Ballista is C tier, again very situational. Sometimes it's useful. Trebuchet these days no one really buys them because maps love them. So technically the trebuchet unit itself would be A tier, almost S tier, right? But the maps, the normal balance maps of today, almost always ban them or nerf them to hell, to a level where they are actually unusable. Harpoon ship, I think, again very niche, doesn't have too much range. Surprisingly, they don't actually one-shot balloons. A big reason why they are C tier and not B tier. Barge, I was gonna put Barge at B because they are very tanky. They can transport 2 units, even huge units like giants. I actually changed my mind and I think Barge is a B tier. And the Thief, I think the Thief isn't good enough to be B tier or above. Of course, if your opponent overextends the village captures into your territory, a Thief can be a great way to punish that. They become very slow after stealing. They need to commit a lot of troops to protect them. Now let's move to B tier, the actually normal, decent, good, usable units. These are good units. The Harpy, with Wargroove 2, in contrary to Wargroove 1, where the Harpies had 5 movement, now they have 6 movement. They deal less damage to villages now. Second B tier is going to be the Giant. Now the Giant is absolutely a monster. It got nerfed a little bit in Wargroove 2. They cannot go on mountains. Any kind of terrain that's not plains or road nerfs them to hell. They are very slow. Going into a forest is actually 4 movement for Golem now. Next B tier is Witch. You know, Witch is they can do hacks, they can chase down dragons. Witch was almost A tier because they one hit dragons now, but I chose B tier. Archer is B tier. Archers are great to punch holes, crack things open, formations. Warships are very strong and they can of course be converted, if the map allows it, back to a land unit, which means it's not really a wasted gold. They aren't even that expensive for how strong they are. They destroy anything on land, especially if they crit. So Warship is B tier, Merfolk is B tier, I think they are decent enough to be B tier. Riverboats are B tier because they threaten units, they even deal 25% damage to commanders if they crit. If a commander is on a beach, which is a huge damage. It's 1/4 of a commander's HP bar. So let's move on to the A tier now, guys. A tier is going to be the very good units. Not the absolute best, which is S tier, but very good. So dogs. I think dogs are A tier because they are fast, they are cheap, they deal with all the land units like mages, even spearmen. Spearmen are very slow, but they are not very expensive and they are very tanky and they are great for walling. You need an archer generally to punch holes in a spearman wall formation. I think the dragon is also A tier. They have huge threat potential. The opponent has to keep a mage at every part of the map. Sometimes even when they have a mage, the opponent can snap a unit and then block it. Dragons are just a great opening, a great instigator, if I may say that, to great players. But of course they're expensive, so you have to mind the price tag. I think balloons are also A tier. Balloons, wagons are also A tier. Krakens is OP. And let's move to S tier now, guys, before I ramble too long. S tier is going to be the Knights. I think they are S tier. Ever since Shu started Knight meta, everyone is like, oh wow, Knights are extremely good because they are very fast, they're very strong. We also have Mages. I think their Mages are S tier. Amazing unit. They are fast, they deal lots of damage to basically every land unit. Their crit condition is very strong, like they threaten commanders even. They can heal, and the healing ability is what gives them the S tier, otherwise they would be A tier. I think Swordsmen are also S tier because, you know, it's a basic unit, right? Capture, decent speed, not really inexpensive, like it's the cheapest unit possible you can buy. And you can do sword crits with the commander. Swordsmen, amazing, love them. And of course we have Frog. So why you asked me, Psycho, frogs are S tier, right? Well, of course they are S tier because they can move a unit, enemy unit or friendly unit. And if it's a friendly unit, after moving it, it can still move. It can still attack, still do anything it wants. But now you repositioned it. So essentially every unit in your formation, if the frog is nearby, has +1 movement. Just think of that, how freaking broken that is. every single unit in your formation, if it's nearby, if it moves along a frog, which is not a very fast unit, so you kind of need a balloon, I think, for bigger maps and bigger armies. Any unit there is one tile faster, essentially. But they can even go one tile back, which means if a 9 crit is like 5 away, they can move back to 1 to make it 6 away. If they are 7 away, they can move 1 forward and make it 6 away. They can reposition everything and do so much stuff, it's incredible. So, yeah, here is a picture of the visualized version of my unit tier list. This is such a unit tier list, I'm gonna call it. So, wow, I can't believe we only had 2 questions and I already rambled for so long. Maybe we have time for one more question. So thanks for the question, Sakuya. That was very fun. Thank you for the question. Next one. Okay, we have the third question by Warrior Unknown. Ooh, we have an unknown warrior amongst us, guys. Wonderful. So the question is, what is your best memory from Wargroove? Both 1 and 2. That's a great question. So essentially, you're asking what's my best memory, best moments from the Wargroove community as a whole, right? Well, I've been in it since 2019, so there's a few great moments, but I think I definitely know what to answer. My absolute best moment was actually 3 separate moments when I have become the winner of the community choice favorite player of the whole Wargroove community choice 3 times in a row, I think. And in case it's not clear, I am so grateful. Like, you guys have no idea how happy that memory makes me. So thank you so much. That's like the best thing ever. Like, it's anytime I'm like sad, I'm like, wait, people liked me enough 3 times to vote me. I'm like, oh my god, yes, there's hope after all. So thank you guys so much. It fills me with such joy anytime I think back to that memory. So here is a picture of all of the things that the wonderful artists, there was an amazing artist connected to Dr. Killsauce, who has made that amazing picture, custom made. Thank you so much, by the way. We also have a Sedge pin, which I still haven't opened to this day to keep it original, from the Wargroove merchandise website, and of course the dog shirt. The thousands of dogs on my shirt from all factions. Of course, this was Wargroove 1, so there's no Fiery Republic yet. So yeah, that's my best memory, having been able to be entertaining enough to the people, and worthy enough, I guess, to be voted as the favorite player of the community 3 times in a row. So thank you so much. And thank you for the question, for bringing back memory, Mr. Warrior Unknown. So, that's going to conclude it for today, guys, because this took way longer than I expected. I should probably ramble less on questions and make it faster. So next week we will have much more questions, so keep sending questions, guys, on the email address on the left, or comment below on this video, and I shall put you in the next video. So, thanks so much for watching. Oh, and of course, this was published on Tuesday, but every week it will be on Monday. I just had a bit of a time problem there. From next week on, it will always be every Monday, guys. This will always be each Monday. So thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye.